Welcome to Hunting Habitat. I'm out here on the Firefly 40 today. Today I have a big Siberian elm I'm going to tackle, and I want to kind of walk through and show everyone kind of the basics to boar cutting. And basically my motto with leaners or bigger trees, you bore the core, and if you're not doing that, it just can be really dangerous. So some people think the boar cutting seems more dangerous, but once you understand it and try it a few times and you can see what's going on, you're getting rid of the entire center out of the tree, so it can't split on you or bust in your face. So they call that barber chairing, and that's when it can get really dangerous. But it actually just started raining a little bit, so I don't think that's gonna last long. I hope anyway, or at least I didn't see it on the forecast. So I'll show you this tree. So it's right here. So it's a really big Siberian elm. And then around me, I have walnuts over here and here, back there, nice one right here, right there, and then a big one right here. So I think there's like 8 or 9, and this one's in the dead center, so all these trees, canopies, are going to be able to grow towards the center. I potentially could girdle it, but I like getting the structure on the ground, and I'll show you how to boar cut. So let's get prepped here. I'll show you around the tree. I got a couple here to the side I want to drop first, little ones, and kind of go from there. It is by far the safest way to get a tree on the ground, and yeah, we all want to walk out of the woods when we're done at the end of the day. So walk you through that and show you how I do it. Kind of a goofy tree. It's got a big flare here. So I'll probably start by getting that flare cut off and then go from there, but up it this way. Here's the tree. I think we're gonna go right through there towards that hackberry and that scraggly oak there. Want to miss that walnut right there. So I'm gonna prep a few things right in here. Cut this little bitternut right there. A couple of these little ones, and one more honeysuckle up there I'm gonna cut and treat. So get at it, and then I'll start prepping this tree and show you every step along the way. So the first thing you always do is walk around the tree and look at what's around it, if there's anything hung in it, are there any dead limbs, see if it's leaning, see what the wind direction is. You know, take all those things into consideration. Some of them might not apply to every tree. Every tree is different, and you need to treat every tree differently. So this one's slightly leaning that way, has a little more weight. The wind is out of the southeast, east-southeast, and we're dropping it to the west, so that'll play a little bit in our advantage. I brought wedges just to have as a little insurance and pop those in once I get the boar cut made, and I'll show you all that. But anyway, make sure you take all that stuff into consideration and take it seriously. So all right, I'm gonna get the face cut going here and we'll go from there. So you always make your face cut perpendicular, so 90 degrees to to the direction you want to fill it. So I'm gonna start off by getting rid of this wing, get it flushed up there, and cut a big face right there. So I'll start with that, and then we'll go from there. I was saying you make the perpendicular to the direction you want to fill it. So we want to go straight this way. So I'm going to make my face cut perpendicular. So here we go. Let's take a look at that. I'll just clean that little bit off right there yet. Otherwise it looks pretty good. Alright, so I got the face cut made. Roughly 10 to 20%. I shoot for 15 right in the middle of the diameter of the tree for the face cut. So this tree's 30 inches. And so I probably went in 4 or 5. Whatever that is, but it's gotta be right around that 15%. So that's the face cut, and I'm gonna start showing you the bore and how to go about that. I'm gonna guess up real quick. All right, so there's our face cut right there. I'm gonna set it up here. And we'll start the bore. So the goal, like I said, this tree is about 30 inches or more. So the hinge, no more than 10% on the hinge. If it's 30 inches, that'd be a 3-inch hinge. And I like to shoot for 1.5 to 2 inches. So don't be cutting your hinge. You gotta leave that in a situation like this. So I'll show you here, and I'll start boring in, and then I'll stop and kind of show it along the way. Okay, so far, I'll show you. I got, my bar is only 20 inches and the tree's, like I said, over 30, so I'm gonna have to come from both directions. I think what I'm gonna be able to do is go in this slot right here and punch out that other side, so that way I can line up my cuts rather than guessing from the other side. Yeah, let's take a look to see if I think I can punch through safely. So here's where it's at. There. I'd like to be able to punch out right here. There, so right there, you've seen the sawdust shoot out that other side. So, right there. So now I got a spot to come in on this side and work up towards my hinge on this side. Okay, so I'll show you kind of what I just did. It's a little hard probably to see in the camera. So punched out here. I'm working my way back up towards the hinge, but not cutting through it. There's the face cut. There's my holding wood hinge right there. And that's my bore. Bore the core. So that's my motto, bore the core. Look around the area here. So I cleaned off right here. So I have plenty of room to get back because it's got a big top. If there's any dead limbs that drop out of it when I release it from that jerk, I want to make sure I'm getting back right away. So I have a clean space to do that. There's a couple here I'm going to move yet. Right here. This big old honking thing. And I'm going to set these wedges. And we're going to watch it go down. So it's exciting stuff. I just love to do this. So figure why not explain to other people how to bore cut, because it's the safest cut that there is. especially when you leave a full hinge. You know, if it's a tree that you want to harvest, like an oak or a walnut, especially walnut, you're going to want to bore the center of the hinge and leave 1 or 2 tabs, basically is what it ends up being. But you don't want to pull any fibers in the wood of a valuable tree. This is a Siberian elm, so I don't worry, not worried about that too much. Another thing you can do is cut off the sapwood right here on these edges. Turn my saw off for a second. Up here on the face, right there in your bore, you can cut this sapwood off right there so that doesn't strip up the tree. You know, it'll release off the hinge versus pulling on the sapwood there. So you can do that on both sides. I'll probably do it just to show you. Simple. So the next step, if you want to be extra cautious, you know, I don't really want the tree to sit back on me. So, well, I got my wedges here. I'll pound those in both sides quick, just to be extra sure. But do one on this other side. Okay, and generally you want to do those more forward towards the hinge. You get more leverage there. So, all right, well, I'll step back and show you the tree one more time, and then all we got to do is cut that release off the back. So, hope this is all making sense and what to do. All right, so final look at it. Here's the face cut. Here's where we bored in, all the way back to there. Want people to utilize this cut. I would say anything over 10, 11, 12 inches is when you can start utilizing it. Obviously, if it's too small, you can't bore in. There's not enough room there. But anything bigger than that, that's about the only way I would cut a tree. You know, especially when they're leaning. So much more important, but I hope that's making sense. I'll step back here so you can see around it a little more once. Kind of why I'm cutting it too. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 walnut trees right in the middle. This thing's right in the middle of all of them. And I really don't want Siberian elms spreading seed across the property, so that's why I'm cutting it down. We can utilize it for firewood, or it'll make good structure for wildlife habitat. So All right, well, I think I'm gonna find a spot to put the camera for the release, and we're gonna watch it go. All right, so all I gotta do is cut that strap in the back, call that the release. So let's see how it goes. Whew. That was a crash. Let's go take a look. Get rid of these. So here we go. Here's the hinge. Two to 1.5 inches there. So, so you can see how cutting those off. Face cut, the hinge, the bore. So this is what was all bored out of the middle. And then here was the release. Went down, you can see, here's the face cut. The tree went perpendicular to the face cut. So worked out good. The hinges are just, or the wedges are just for a little extra insurance to make sure it's not gonna, the tree wasn't gonna sit back, and could always come in and pound the wedges a little more if you had to. But it went right like I thought it would. Well, my saw is 20 inches, so you can see definitely in the upper 30s. Clear out the trail. A little bedding area down in there now. A little pocket. Looking good. I think I'll probably cut this log up here, right there, and then one more time right there. Saw that up at some point. So it's kind of pretty. We'll see. All right, let's go see what's on the agenda for the rest of the day. Thanks for watching, and always chase your dreams. Always remember to bore the core.